Hello everyone, welcome back to this lecture in which we are going to talk about shallow foundation. See, shallow foundation is actually a major type of foundation that we provide for any particular structure. And the another type of foundation is the deep foundation. So, when we are talking about the type of a shallow foundation, the first point that we need to understand that what are shallow foundation and how those are different from the deep foundation. So, first of all, let us understand that what is a shallow foundation. Here you can see that a shallow foundation is a part of a structure that transmits load to the underlying soil or even rock safely. So that is actually our prime motive to transfer the load of the superstructure or the construction or the building to the soil, and the component of the structure that transmits load of the superstructure to the underlying soil is known as a foundation. Whereas a shallow foundation is a foundation that transmits loads to the near surface strata. That means it transfers loads to the topmost surface or the topmost layer of the soil itself. Whereas, if we are talking about the Terzaghi and Peck criteria, it suggests that a shallow foundation is that for which the depth of foundation is lesser than width. That means this ratio of a depth of foundation to the width is less than 1. Whereas if it is more than 1, then it is classified as a deep foundation. Whereas some investigators also suggested that the depth of foundation can be as great as 3 to 4 times of the width, even then it will be classified as a shallow foundation. But for now, we are assuming that the depth of foundation should be lesser than or equals to be the width to call that foundation as the shallow foundation. Now, there are some major type of shallow foundation. The first one are the individual or isolated footing that considers the spread footing, whereas the combined footing or the group of individual footings is classified as the mat or raft foundation. Now, let us talk about each of the different type of shallow foundation individually. So these are the various type of shallow foundations that we are going to talk about, and each of them individually. So let us first of all move on to the first type of shallow foundation, and that is the strip or continuous footing. Here, see, this is a wall, and yes, this is actually a load bearing wall which is actually having a foundation here. But as you know that the width of the wall is very small as compared to its length. Hence, here we assume that this particular wall will go on in the length direction continuously, whereas its width is limited. Hence, such particular footing which is provided for load bearing wall is known as a continuous footing, or it is also known as a strip footing. Whereas it supports load bearing walls, and there are some transverse reinforcing bars also provided to resist its bending. Longitudinal bars are also provided to satisfy shrinkage requirements. Now, these are used when the closely spaced columns are present where individual footings would overlap or nearly touch each other. These are economical when the distance between adjacent footings is less than their dimensions. Now, let us move ahead to the second type of footing, and that is your spread footing. As the name suggests that the footing area at the base is getting spreaded. Yes, it is also classified as the isolated or individual column footing. That means for each and every column you are providing individual footing, and it is actually an independent footing which is not in contact with other column or other footings here. Yes, its shape may be circular, square, or rectangular, and the dimension or the shape could be either sloped footing having a slope, whereas it could be of uniform thickness, or it can have some steps like this, whereas it can also have a pedestal that transfers the load in the vertical direction. Now let us move ahead to the third type of footing. Here, the third type of footing is the combined footing. What is this? When two or more columns are present close to each other and a common concrete slab is provided to support their weight and transfer it to the soil that is present beneath it. Here, we actually use a combined footing when either the bearing capacity of the soil is low or when the column are very close to each other or near to the property line. Now what does this property line means? That if you cannot extend your construction beyond that particular line, so you have to actually reduce the stress level by increasing the area of footing, and hence you actually increase the area of footing by providing combined footings here. So that can also be further classified as a trapezoidal footing when there are different load on the two columns, or that can be a rectangular combined footing when the load is equal on both the columns. Whereas you can also use a continuous combined footing when you have more than two columns for which the footing is combined. So these are various type of combined footings also. Now let us move ahead. The next type of footing is the strap footing, or it is also known as a cantilever footing. Here you can see that the load of two different columns are actually subjected to the footings, and these two footings are now connected to each other, and this connection between the two footings is known as a strap. This is actually a rigid structural beam that is transferring load from one footing to the another. And yes, this is actually a special form of combined footing itself. But yes, what is the difference? That this strap should be out of contact with the soil. That means it is not in contact with the soil and it will act only as a rigid beam, not a foundational element. It is economical when the allowable soil bearing capacity is high, whereas combined footing was provided when we wanted to increase the area of load distribution. Here, the column spacing is relatively large and you don't need the support on this particular area from the soil. It is also available as continuous strap footing supporting more than two columns in one row. So now let us move ahead to the next type of footing, and the fifth and sixth type of footing that we are going to study here is the ring spread footing. See, this is again a continuous strip footing, but its shape is such that it will form a circle. It is actually provided for such type of structures whose shape is in the form of a circle, like that of a ground or elevated storage tanks, transmission towers, or TV antennas, and process tower structures also, because these structures have the shape of a circle itself. The load of the structure is spread uniformly in the circular area, and it is somewhat similar to the mat or raft foundation itself. Now let us talk about the mat or raft foundation, in which you can see here that multiple columns weight is transferred to a common combined footing. Here all the footings of the individual columns are combined because whether the load bearing capacity of the soil is very low or the spacing between the walls or columns is quite low. If the required area of the individual column footings is more than 50% of the area, then instead of providing individual footing for each of the column, we simply provide the combined common footing for all the columns in the complete area, and that is known as raft foundation. Here, just note down that in this type of raft foundation, you have provided only single thick reinforced concrete slab that is supporting all columns. Now, apart from that, the another type is such that when there are RC slabs that are integrated together into the columns, and here you can see that there is a one beam above the slab that transfers loads in compression, and also there is another beam that is below, and it actually provides the level surface. So such type of foundation can also be used where there are total two beams provided for the load transfer. Now, apart from that, the next type of shallow foundation is the floating or compensated foundation. What is the basic principle here? That you actually excavate so much amount of soil to form or to provide the foundation such that the load of or the weight of your structure is even less or equal to the excavated soil weight, so that there is not much effect of the applied load through the foundation on the soil, because you have already excavated so much amount of soil that the stress on the soil do not increases much. And as the stress on soil is not much increased, it is known as a compensated foundation. So these are total 8 type of foundation that we have studied for the shallow foundation. Now, this is actually giving you the summary of all the 8 type of shallow foundation, and yes, you can take a screenshot or you can just keep this to revise or summarize whatever we have studied in this particular lecture. But yes, this is an introductory lecture where we have just studied about the various type of shallow foundation. In our next lectures, we are going into more depth about the shallow foundation. So see you there. Till then, keep learning, keep growing.